Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Nishiro here, and today I will be showing you how to play the Crystal Beast with the new support out of the Battles of Legend. The Golden Rule equips spell. It basically makes the deck the deck went from playable to like at least tier 2.5, tier 2ish with this new support. So I want to showcase you guys a good example of how you could pilot the deck for yourselves. Obviously, some of the things about this deck will be player preference, but this is just the way that I've found that I've liked to play it so far. So first off, double Rainbow Dragon. You want the second one for in case you hard open it, you can still Zenith effect for the second one, because Zenith, you need to be able to search Rainbow Dragon to summon out that Crystal Beast from deck. So two of them's nice. Also, you know, it does make your Awakening Crystal live in your opening hand. Like if you open this plus the Awakening, like you can activate Awakening without having to search it. So you can play around Droll by activating Awakening in like draw phase or standby phase. Triple Sus, because he's a staple. He's basically the, you know, heart of the deck. Like the deck doesn't work without him. Double Zenith, you play two because especially with like Golden Rule and Carbuncle, there's going to be some grind games where you're going to need more than one to banish it for its own effect, and you can revive it using the fusion. We also have to play every single Crystal Beast name now, so we're on Topaz, we're on Amber. People were playing Cobalt Eagle before because one, it helped with Lightning Chidori, and also because there's potential that you got to play Harpy's Featherstorm with it. But now it's like we're on all of them because it's more of a combo deck now, and even our level 3s, Emerald Tortoise and Amethyst Cat, we need these, especially because these can be milled off of Cherubini if you don't already have access to them. Or if you do have access to them, but you don't have access to your Ruby Carbuncles, which is also an essential piece, which is why we're playing it too. Golden Rule makes this card fucking insane. Like you go fucking +3 if you activate Golden Rule and this card is in your hand or graveyard. So this is now an essential combo piece. I think there's even a world where you can play this at 3 now, because this plus Golden Rule is just way too good. That's our Crystal Beast package. These are all the Crystal Beast monsters. I also wanted to show you guys the hidden tech, the Noble Knight Shield Bearer. And so this is a card, it basically banishes itself from hand or field, and you get to add a level 6 or lower beast type, which your first priority would be your Sapphire Pegasus. If you don't already have Pegasus or a way into it, then Shield Bearer is like an instant way to get into your Pegasus. It also searches Dinotherium, which is a level 4 extender. And Dinotherium is really good going first. It's really rare unless you're playing something like maybe like Tearlaments, where they happen to have like a Halfness or something. They won't really have a monster in their grave first turn. So Dinotherium will be really good for extending, and your opponent wouldn't get the special summon effect out of the graveyard. And it also really helps that, like, because you won't always need your normal summon, because Golden Rule is like an insane fucking card. He's also level 4, so you can just normal summon him, use him for like an overlay of Chakanine, Dugaris, fucking Baguska, whatever it is that you think that you need at the time. And it's like I think it's a good tech. It gives you more searchability in your deck. It gives you a little more consistency, and it gives you an extender as well. So it fulfills like 3 different roles in the Crystal Beast deck. Shoutouts to Neshi and Kozaki from Ground Game for putting me onto it. So now we're going to go into spells. Triple Golden Rule. This card just puts the deck on the map. Like this is really like, literally you summon a Crystal Beast from hand or grave, and then you equip 2, or you don't equip, you put 2 Crystal Beasts from your deck in your spell and trap zone. So that's why we're playing so many, because we can just like get them with the Golden Rule, and then easily like bring them out with like Ruby Carbuncle, or you know, using our fusions as well. Like it also helps sets up for Rainbow Dragon, because Rainbow Dragon can also, it also counts when the Crystal Beasts are in Spell and Trap Zone. Rainbow Bridge, this is our best. I don't want to say extender, but it gives us extra normal summons, and it also helps us search, pop our own monsters, search more crystal spells and traps. And Golden Rule counts as a crystal spell and trap. It's the first line. So if you don't already have Golden Rule, like this can help you extend a lot, because it's not just Golden Rule that's a crystal spell and trap. It's like you have Awakening Crystal, you have Crystal Bond, so you have a lot of different cards you can get off of this, so this can pivot really well into a lot of things. And also the extra normal summon's nice. Triple Rainbow Bridge, it searches any crystal spell or trap. So again, the consistency here is already crazy, because that's already 9 cards that can get you into Golden Rule, and this isn't even like the final card that can search crystal spells and traps, because we literally have fucking double Awakening of the Crystal. You could play this at 3 in theory, because we're on 2 Rainbow Dragons, but I want to play this at 2 because I don't want to brick with this and not have a way to search my Rainbow Dragon, basically. Like, but it is really good when you get to resolve it, or if Rainbow Dragon is on your field, like if Rainbow Dragon or if one of your fusions is on your field, this card's fucking insane. But like, I think like, because you can search it with fucking 2 different cards, I think it's fine to play it too. And then double Crystal Bond. Neshi says you should play this card at 1. Some people are on 3. I personally like the card at 2. It's a hard once per turn, but it does search your Crystal Beast, and it places 1 from deck, so it sort of fulfills 2 different roles at once. But it's definitely not necessary. You could play this at 1, because again, you can search it using Rainbow Bridge, or both Rainbow Bridges, and you know, it doesn't really do much by itself. Like you need something else for this to be good. And the last crystal spell card is 1 Crystal Beacon, because now we're placing 2 fucking crystal beast monsters in our spell and trap zone at a time. Thanks to Golden Rule, Crystal Beacon's a lot better, because now you get to special summon those monsters a lot quicker, and also, you know, it's a fucking searchable spell card, so it's a good one of, and it's also not a hard once per turn. So technically you could play you know, fucking more than 1 Crystal Beacon if you wanted, but like I feel like the engine's already consistent enough to where you don't need to play multiples. It's probably also the best search off of Rainbow Heart if you already have Golden Rule, and you don't have the Rainbow Dragon for Awakening. It's definitely one of the best searches for Rainbow Bridge. Next off, we have 1 Conclave, 1 Miracle. These are also searchable off Rainbow Bridge, so if you want to have a negate that you can end on, or if you want to sort of control the monsters that your opponent can play, Conclave is really good at that. Shoutouts to the Conclave for coming up with this like cool ass fucking deck. Like, I don't like GX at all, but this is like one of the coolest decks that I've ever seen, especially you know, a deck that's been around for so long. It finally having, you know, all these fucking cool plays and crazy ass combos. So shout outs to the Conclave for coming up with this shit. So now for our like sort of staples consistency cards, we got Triple Prosperity. You want to dig for your susses, you want to dig for your Golden Rules, you want to dig for Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. So Triple Prosperity, just to, you know, have a little more consistency. And then hand traps were on Ash and Imperm. We're not on too many hand traps, because hand traps aren't really doing that much this format. People are kind of figuring out that board breakers are a little better, so all of our board breakers are in the side deck. But like, we're playing hand traps in the main, you know, just in case, right? Like, just in case we, you know, we can use Ash, or an Imperm does help break boards, so Imperm does help going first and second, so it's like the best hand trap in that regard. And yeah, that's the main deck. It's 42 cards, and I think with all the consistency, that won't really be an issue, especially because you don't want to open your like too many of your names. So like I think going a little above 40 is okay. So I personally like 1 Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive and 1 Rainbow Dragon one Rainbow Overdragon, because I feel like if you have to play more than one of these, it's like the game would be over anyway. And there's a lot of stuff in your extra deck that's like utility, that you use for certain situations, and like the amount of gas that you have by like summoning this card is just insane. Like if you resolve this card, there's no way that you're losing, unless you're you know facing some weird fucking stall deck or something. But yeah. Exceed monsters, we got Zeus, we got our Zeus package, Borbo plus Chakanine. We have Mr. Baguska over here. We have Lightning Shidori, because Pegasus or Sus and Eagle are both wind types, and so Shidori is like a really good Exceed that not a lot of decks can play, because there aren't enough decks in the format that can play wind monsters. But if you can, this is like one of the best cards to like, because it can remove like 2 cards from field, and it can put something on top of your opponent's deck. So it's sort of like the Yatagarasu, where it's like you'll know what they'll draw, and you could probably control the game better that way too. And it's also a good Zeus route. Like, so it's like you put something on top, shuffle something back, and then or does it bounce or does it shuffle? I forgot. Yeah, so it targets a set card, returns to the bottom, and then it could target a face-up card and return it to the top. So it could, it doesn't shuffle back, but it could get rid of 2 cards into your opponent's deck. And lastly, we have Dugaris, and this one is mostly for combos. You want to be able to revive some of your things that you mill off of Cherubini, or if you want to revive your Pegasus, to go further into more Xyz, or to go into some links, then you could definitely do that. Put these over here, and then so we're playing 1 Cherubini, 1 Cross Sheep, 1 IP for our Link 2s. Cherubini is essential for certain combo lines. Cross Sheep is for when you make your Rainbow Overdragon, which you can make by tributing the regular Rainbow Dragon. Then you get to revive some of your Crystal Beast monsters. Like, you could revive Ruby Carbuncle and then go into an Appaloosa a lot easier, because then you can get more materials on your board. Nightmare Unicorn, because it's like for IP. Zeolantis, because it lets you go into, or it lets you banish some of your stuff, and then get more names off of Pegasus, and lets you summon out your Rainbow Dragon easier. Apple, because you have to end on this, like this is like essential for the combo. And then I personally like to play Underworld Goddess, because Underworld Goddess helps you beat some of your opponent's monsters that you can't beat easily. So you don't have to waste main deck space or main or side deck space on a kaiju, if you can go for like Underworld Goddess to play around Chaos Angel, or like monsters that can't be destroyed by battle easily, like or even like a Baguska or something like that, like on your opponent's field. You can use Underworld Goddess to play around stuff like that. And I know Saryuja is in some decks. I don't know if it's completely necessary. I haven't tried it yet, but I know it's also an option that you can play. Also, Access Code is an option that you can play as well if you want to like use it to break boards. You definitely have the gas for it, but I don't think it's necessary for you to be able to win, because ultimately you're trying to get to your ultimate crystals, and that's like the most important part of the deck. So that's the extra. And for the side deck, it's still a work in progress. Obviously, sides are always based on whatever tier of event that you're playing at, whether you're playing at locals, regionals, or the North American World Championship qualifiers. It's like your side deck will always be different, but this is just what I figured that you can use. So I think Nib is kind of decent right now. It is not the best, like a lot of decks can play around it, but it does what it needs to do. Shifter, I think Crystal Beast doesn't mind playing around Shifter. Like, you wouldn't be able to resolve some of your stuff, but it also really hinders a lot of opponents in this format. So I think like the trade-off of being able to resolve Shifter and still be able to like make something like a 4 material Zeus can probably win you the game. So Shifter is definitely a good card for the format. Lightning Storm, you could definitely play it at 2. I only have 1 right now because Lightning Storm going into Zeus is one of the strongest things you can do. So I think definitely it's something that you should keep around if you're playing Crystal Beast. Feather Duster, because, you know, back row is still a thing. Dark Ruler, because for breaking boards, you don't really need to OTK if you can set up your Rainbow Overdragons plus Apo. Like, as long as you can break down your opponent's board, and then, like, Zeus them after battle phase, like, that'll be more than enough to be able to start your own combos and then create a checkmate scenario for your opponent. Necro Valley plus your Goods and Salvation. This no longer needs to be mained because this is more of a combo variant now. We're not playing a control deck anymore. Like, we're not playing Conclave control. So this doesn't need to be in your main deck. And this is really great. It's really versatile because you can put into any fucking field spell, like Secret Village. If you feel like you're going to play against a lot of Striker, you can put in Secret Village and you can tech in a copy of the Wind Link 2, the Charmer Link 2, the Wind one, because that one's a spellcaster. And, you know, you can use that to lock out Striker players. You can use Necro Valley to lock out Branded, so you don't get, like, I don't know, like puppet locked, I guess. Well, I guess they would only do puppet lock going first, but it does still hinder them from going into like Albion, from going into Libellion, and it basically stops them from being able to play the game unless they remove the Necro Rally from board. So it's definitely a good package to just keep around. For whatever format comes up, this will always be a good versatile package for Crystal Beast. And lastly, we have the 2 Evenly, because although we can't Zeus and Evenly in the same turn, I feel like if you can just set up Evenly and go into like Apple, put your ultimate crystals, it's still worth it. Against like back row decks where if you don't, if you want the extra steam of like removing back row and not having to main deck like Cosmic, and you can main deck something more versatile, so you can side in Dark Ruler plus Evenly, that basically breaks any board, right? So I feel like Evenly is like the better way to go about putting certain cards in the sideboard. So that's the side deck. That's Crystal Beast in 2023. I'll probably make like a follow-up combo video soon if you guys want me to show you guys all the combos and stuff. I do have Neshi in my DMs, and I also have talked to Dread Guy before, so if you guys want to see more Crystal Beast content, I could definitely collab with them, get them on the channel, hear some of their opinions about how you can play the deck and how well the deck is now that we've gotten all this crazy ass support. But I feel like this is definitely like one of the decks that really it really inspires me to you know, keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh, because it feels like it's such like a basic simple game plan that like I've always seen Crystal Beast like ever since I played the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, but I've never really been inspired to play them. And then I see what all this new support can do, and I'm like, you know what, like finally I can try out this deck for myself and see what it's really like. So yeah, that's Crystal Beast. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.